It's that time of the day again. It's me, your fictitious, salacious anti-hero, HentaiHappy. Today, I'll be talking about the various stages of jealousy a woman experiences when she gets older, and how she deals with the aftermath. As you know, females are typically jealous of each other for no apparent reason whatsoever, giving each other mean looks, arguing, gossiping, and eventually starting fights. It stands to reason that women conduct themselves in this manner because of evolution and the presence of an alpha male igniting their competitive loins. I mean, nature. Not only do material things like makeup, blush, mascara, dresses, skirts, shorts, shoes, handbags, heels, and boots make women look appealing, they also make them stand out. But there comes a point when none of that matters. The wall. So let's talk about the aging process together. 一緒に. As I was browsing the internet looking for a jealous woman picture to use for my video, I stumbled upon an e-how regarding how not to be jealous from younger women. This is how insecure women are. They actually need an e-how not to be jealous of a younger woman. I found it absolutely hilarious. You can check it out in the link below. All right, let's start. So let's talk about the aging process. Let's start with the legal age teenager. Primarily the most valuable partner a man can get. Caring, loving, good-natured, and nearly a tabula rasa, a blank slate that has little to no baggage and ill feelings towards a man. The man-hating propaganda has not reached her yet, and as such, she remains determined to please. She could care less about age difference, and says love is love no matter what. Next up are college girls. As soon as these ladies hit the college years, all bets are off. A mixed bag of wonder, feminism, sausage, and non-committal relationships await them in their poorly air-conditioned dorms. Just a few years after being innocent and doe-eyed, their mentality shifts, and their innocent framework begins to crumble. As such, they begin to see men as disposable commodities due to the feminist propaganda that they have gobbled up in each and every class regardless of the subject. They start to think that men should have no choice in selecting their partner. If they do, they are too picky, while they, on the other hand, have a growing list of wants and needs which should be met in order to give up the poon. Jealousy starts to set in once they've been passed around the campus for a while, and they begin to wish they were in high school again. However, they will act like they are living the free life because of the feminist propaganda which caused them to hate on men, but also gave them permission to sleep around and hate themselves because of their liberated rights. They see a relationship between a college guy and a high school girl as predatory and call the man a P-word, if you know what I mean, even though there is only a 2-year difference in terms of age. However, if it was a college girl and a high school boy, no one would say a word of it. Double standards much? Already, we're seeing a hint of jealousy with the college girls, related to their regrets of playing around and their indoctrination by feminism. However, the situation drastically changes when a woman hits her working years. She will actively pursue an alpha male, who is typically older than she is, until she grows too old to keep the alpha male's attention, and the younger female moves in and claims him. This is a pivotal time for the woman and her aging process. At first, she is met with anger, but her anger is directed towards her previous partner. This could result in a violent aftermath towards him, his house, his car, or his newfound love, the young girl. She will claim that he is a P-word and that he has a small banana because he's inserting it into a tight slit, and not choosing her loose pillowcase infested by bacterial culture that only aged moldy cave cheese would envy. She will call him childish and an incel for choosing the higher quality gal that hasn't had a train run through her. She will try to destroy his friendships, work relationships, and even get his family to turn on him. If she commits violence, she will blame the man and claim it was a preemptive strike towards him and that she could feel his kai, his violent spirit oncoming, or claim that he threatened her in some way with just his gaze. That's right, Women are tapping into their mystical powers nowadays to justify harming men, their property, or their newfound lovers. Just look at what Boomer Girl did with little to no repercussions. These behaviors are all excuses to protect her ego so that she can lie to herself at night while she takes antidepressants and gaslights herself into thinking that she is desirable, when in essence, her time is up. And her value has seen a massive decline over a gradual period of time to which she had plenty of options to settle down. What was once a highly desirable woman, used to getting validation from the four corners of the globe, has turned into a delusional maniac. What? He doesn't like me anymore? How can that be? You think you're better than me, punk? I'll show that motherfucker who's queen. If you think about it, it's similar to a man behaving in a scarcity mindset, resorting to desperate measures because he can't catch that fish. Instead of taking accountability for a decline, she externalizes the blame onto exterior factors, none of which hold any bearing on herself. If the latter doesn't work, and she gets put in her place, the next stage is her ego acclimating to the reality check, bearing the true tears, which only ever take place in private. Later, the self-pity and self-loathing begin to set in. This is where the woman is at her lowest point, open for a rebound and a beta business partnership. After having endured a relationship with the beta and used up his financial troves, whether or not she cheated is a matter of question, resources, and opportunity. But in this day and age, opportunity is aplenty. Smartphone, or just scheming about what strategy to employ next, she begins to lie about her age and frequent college dance factories, pubs, clubs, gyms, community service posts, balls, galas, and classes, preying on freshmen 20 years her junior. But wait! Isn't this the same woman who told a man to stop dating a girl 2 years his junior and shamed it for it 20 years ago? Double standards much? She will continue to shame men on Facebook, all the while being a so-called predator herself, as she easily manipulates the mind of a young man, having seen thousands of different interactive scenarios in her lifetime. True story, man. Let me talk. So when I went to university, I would go to different areas to see where I can get that poon, bitches. Anyways, at first, I joined the, community service area. It was an escort service, so you'd escort drunken freshmen or drunken juniors to their dorms or quarters, whatever. And so they don't get into trouble and start shit with people. And, just a type of escort, a bodyguard type thing. So I do that. And then over there, I met this 28-year-old girl. She's not a girl. She's a 28-year-old woman. And, she told me she volunteers here. I told her, did you go to university here? What are you doing here? And she told me, well, no, I went to university in, somewhere very far from my town. And she told me she's just here volunteering. And she told me I just like to volunteer. I said, oh, really? Oh, and I believed that at that time, I was like so fucking blue pill retardo. And I could see the light in everybody's heart at that time. I could, think of the light in everybody's heart at that time. Naive idiot. Anyways, so I went on a few patrols with her. And we were at a patrol at the university hospital. But we didn't have a university hospital because my campus couldn't afford it. So we went to the main hospital in my town. And over there, we were given a security guard room, and we were sitting in it. And then I was playing with the computer because I was like interested in the Atom computer that they had. I was, just wondering if it could run Crysis, whatever. I was just, interested in it. So I was checking it out, and she's like, oh, you like that stuff, don't you? And then she takes out a bottle of some type of rice wine or something like that. And she tells me, do you want any? And then she's like, what are you doing? She comes up to me, and she puts her hand on my lap. And I'm like, oh, my God, man. And she told me, "Oh, your name is this, and I've had 6 boyfriends with your name." And then she starts to rub my thigh, and I was like, "Oh, shit! Oh, I don't know what the fuck to do, man. I don't want to be with her. She's 28, and at that time, I was like, oh, maybe people should be closer in age. I had a blue pill mentality, and I was indoctrinated by that fucking feminism, because in every single damn class at the university, you'd have feminism this, feminism that, and it has nothing to do with the subject at hand, but they just had to insert it there. They just had to shove it up our asses, man. Anyways, if I knew what I knew today, I would have just fucked her and be done with it, right? But the problem with me is I couldn't orgasm until I was like nearly 20. So sex to me wasn't a fucking big deal, It was just, putting a stick in a hole and then, doing cardio. Basically, that's what it was, because I never achieved an orgasm until I was 2 months before my 20th birthday. And even less than that too. It's just, I didn't even know what the fuck an orgasm was, dude. I never experienced it at all. So it was, a type of chore for me to do that. And the first time I orgasmed, I'll tell you what, there was cum and there was blood, mixed in with the cum. So it was super creepy with me, and it was extremely painful. It was like, let's say, burning piss sensation. That type of sensation, piss that's been sitting in your urethra for a while, right? That type of feeling. Anyways, and I didn't want to give it up for her because, I didn't like her. And you know what? Later on, she started stalking me. She started showing up to other community stuff I would do. She would go to the gym and wait for me at the gym. She'd stalk my Facebook. We have no friends in common whatsoever. And out of nowhere, I noticed that she's there on my Facebook. What's going on, man? We have no friends in common. So this went on for 2 years, basically. And, I just didn't want to fuck her, man. I wasn't really interested in her. And she was a stalker. I'll give you another scenario, too. Okay, so our school would throw galas and balls and stuff like that. Some of them, you'd have to dress up like James Bond for the guys, and the girls, I don't know what the fuck they dress up as. They'd wear something from the 60s, like Octopussy or something. And, I went to a few of those, and they were filled with, what are they called? MILFs? Not MILFs. No, fuck that. Cougars. There you go. They were filled with cougars everywhere. Obviously, I had several girls, steal my ensemble, my mask or whatever, because there were like galas or balls with masks too. And they would buy me drinks and whatever. I drink, and then I drink on the sidelines because, I don't want anybody to take advantage of me. It's downtown. I'm a small town guy, and, I'm always on my guard. At the end of the night, the cougar comes up to me. She's flat-chested, fucking disgusting, ugly, old shit. She's like maybe in her late 40s, early 50s, maybe even worse than that. And she's got her gay male colleague, breakdancing beside me, and I'm sandwiched between the both of them. And, she's telling me, "Oh, you need more drinks. Here, have more drinks." And I'm like, "No, I declined it." I was like, "Fuck no." I have no idea what she has planned for me, because I couldn't see the tits either. I was like, "Oh, is this really a woman?" Or, it was very difficult to tell in that lighting. So I just pushed her off. She wouldn't go away. She just waited there for a while. And then when I wasn't, giving her any eye contact, she left. So that was another instance, of encountering those cougars that, are always plowing for guys. And, at another bar, we had a, whatever, get together there. There was a ton of cougars, and they were making out with the freshmen over there. And they were exchanging numbers. Some of them would go to the toilet and fuck. So, that's what they're doing. The girls tell you, hey, they're not girls, whatever. College girls tells you, hey, you can't go out with that high school girl. It's very shameful, even though you're 20 and she's 18. So there's not a big difference, right? And then fast forward 20 years later, or like maybe even 30 years later, they're going for the 18-year-olds. And who's the bastard now? Who's the hypocrite now? After that, I'd go to the gym. I started working out. I got the Thor bod, the Thor workout. I looked it up on the internet. It was really good. I found the right one. And, I was really getting really intense and into it. Obviously, there was an old lady there. I have no idea what she was doing. Some of them, some of my friends would say she's a MILF. I didn't see it because, I'm just not attracted to older women, from my essence, I think. So she told me, hey, I'd like to work out with you. And I told her, I can't, I'm sorry. I have to really concentrate on my workout. During my peak, I would brush off women, but they were never, the highest fruit, right? They were like, 6, 7, 8s. I wasn't brushing off 9s, dude. I wasn't brushing off 9s. I wasn't brushing off 10s. And then, a woman has the ability to brush off a 9 in terms of a guy's looks, or a 10. She brushes them off daily, on a regular basis. For a guy, it's completely impossible for that to happen unless your clout is Elon Musk or whatever, and you're brushing off the 9s and 10s who want you, but you never know if they want you for you and or your success. So anyways, I'm trying to find ways to brush her off, and then she yells at me. She gets all red. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? At that time, I still didn't understand female nature completely, right? I'm like, what the fuck happened here? I told her, I can't work out with her. I'm brushing her off. I'm not rejecting her. I'm just telling her logically that, hey, I have to do my workout. It's really important to me. It's a logical reason. And, it was important to me at that time to actually do my workout because, you can't take long breaks between them, and you can't share equipment because your pump will go away, and, the proteins in your muscle will evaporate. The lactic acid will build up, and you won't be able to make use of the protein. So I told her, hey, I can't do that shit. And then when she started yelling and stuff like that, I took a step back. I was like, holy shit, man. This woman's supposed to be mature. She's supposed to know what she's doing, whatever. I didn't expect her to yell. And, usually women are seen as mother figures. And I saw her as a mother figure. I'm not going to lie. And then she did all this nonsense shit. So basically, I went to the desk and I told him, hey, this bitch, she did this. What's going on? And then the girl had the gall to look me in the eye and said, yeah, this bitch, she said bitch. And she told me that she's on her menopause or whatever or shit like that. And the look on my face, I was like, holy shit, a girl is saying this about another woman, Like, I was surprised. Holy shit, what's going on? And she's like, don't worry about it. There's a ton of cases. I told her there's a ton of cases, so why haven't they removed her, She was giving me death stares for the rest of the workout, and whenever I go back there, that I rejected her, right? And then she started working out with other guys. Other guys were reciprocating to that, It wasn't my grind. It wasn't my thing. It wasn't my type. So I let that be, bro. At that time, because it was a fucking blue pill beta, I called up my mom. I told her what happened. And she told me, if as soon as you leave the house, problems are going to occur. And, because of that, so I said, yeah, I agree. I started externalizing the world and using the world as my problem. But in reality, it was my lack of knowledge on female nature. But how was I supposed to go about it another way and solve the issue? There was no way I could possibly solve the issue. It was just that I could understand that she felt rejected, that her emotions fluctuate, and, she might be having that menopause thing as well. So there was nothing I could do to salvage the situation. I was like, oh, woe is me, the world is bleak, etc., etc. But now that I have an understanding of it, I don't feel bad about it. I was considering, leaving the gym and just working out at home because I have the same exact weight training equipment at home. So it wasn't a big deal to me, there's some days where you don't feel like going downtown, taking the bus for an hour and a half to go down there and then taking the bus again for another hour and a half and going back to your house. So it wasn't a big deal to me. But yeah, I didn't know it was female nature at that time. And, that wasn't the event that red pilled me. The event that red pilled me came later. And it was, it was a whopper of an event. Yeah, but let's go back to the situation in the gym. At that time, I wasn't even thinking about, scarcity, desperate, I didn't even know what the fuck those terms were when in relation to texting a woman, whatever. So basically what I did, I'm doing the same thing as a girl. Let's say a girl texts you and you tell her, let's go for a date. And and she indirectly says, she changes the topic. And then you go along with it. And then whenever you try to go to the date or do the date, she gives you a different topic. So basically that was the same type of feel I was doing with that lady. And, instead of taking it properly, she went berserk. So you have a double standard in how men, if you send an extra emoji or if you text a bit faster, you're considered desperate, needy, stalkerish, etc. But for women, they can go berserk on you and not get booted from the university gym, which they have no fucking right being there, okay? No fucking right being there. And, people will gravitate towards her later. So after that incident, I was surprised that, other guys would try to hook up with her. And these were handsome, decent-looking guys. I was probably the top guy. I'm not kidding you, man. I was like legit... I was like a 10 on 10. And, other guys who were 9s, 8s, and they would gravitate towards this woman and they would try to, get on her good side and get the poon, even though she's crazy. So I thought to myself, there must be something going on. And then later I realized even handsome guys are having difficulty getting women, even at that time, right? Handsome guys are getting difficulty getting women, and they're going for the old lady poon. So, I was surprised. These guys are in the best shape of their lives. I don't know if they're on their purpose or on their grind, whatever. They're fucking chasing old tail, right? I was getting girls naturally just by being me. Girls would open me and, talk to me. So, yeah, there was that part. But, I'd focus on the double standard, What's going on? Why is she freaking out? And why are people giving her leeway? Or they're giving her leeway because she has the pussy. And us guys, one extra emoji. If I text 1 minute too soon, or if I write a word extra than she does, in the text conversation, that's considered needy, desperate, stalkerish behavior, right? But girls have the leeway for that. Listen to me, damn right, motherfuckers. Like, if there was an old man, in his 50s, and, he told the girl, he would ask the girl, hey, I'd like to work out with you. And, she'd make up an excuse and whatever. She'd do the indirect thing like they usually do, but not on the phone, but in real life. She'd feel uncomfortable and shit. And then he would yell at her and scream at her for no reason, get all red, because he's crazy, just like the crazy woman. What are the chances they're going to keep that guy at the gym? The girl is going to start crying. She's going to be like, oh my God. The waterworks are going to go on, She's going to say he's a creep, he's a stalker, whatever. I don't feel safe. At my university at that time, we also had a safe space, motherfuckers. She would say that, and then, they'd boot the crazy guy, So, but if it's a woman and she's had several calls, several reports, but she's still there, do you see the double standard? All right, so let's continue with the topic at hand. When all is said and done, she will be in her 40s, with nothing to show for all her years of service on the Trans-Siberian Banana Circus train. She knows why she's here, but she decides to make a final coup. She decides to write articles to sabotage younger women and egging them on to live the same life she had, telling them to delay marriage and find multiple relationships to find themselves. Funny. The more relations a woman has, the more she loses her identity and turns to SSRIs. All the while, the girl is taking this information seriously because she is a woman. It doesn't matter that she is getting the information from an old, alone, and decrepit old lady. Because of their feminist programming, they see this old lady that has been ran through as an ally, when in reality, she is trying to replicate her resentful self in the souls of the young and malleable, empty, alone, and full of bacterial cultures from different creamy cheeses. So this is where the red pill and anime land fuse together. If you're not interested in anime land, you can leave the podcast right now. So now I'm going to fuse what I know about the red pill into the Yandere Dev Simulator situation, and how we have a stupid article by a stupid bitch feminist. People often ask me, HentaiHappy, why did you do that video about Yandere Dev? Why did you, go out of your way to do it? Were you paid? Did somebody force you to do that video? Does he have dirt on you? No, it has nothing to do with that. I did that video out of a sense of duty and respect for our fellow men. I noticed Yandere Dev was being zeroed out and targeted by pop culture mainstream journalists such as this bitch feminist called Gina Vane Shitstain. And she writes on Distractify, It's a dit's head woman who is trying to depict a man in a negative light by using buzzwords such as underage girls, sexual assault, sexual situations, and sexually active to demonize and stereotype this game as being harmful towards women. So wait, in her mind, doesn't that mean anybody who plays this game is very bad? Moreover, she gives the number for the National Sexual Assault Hotline and asks any girl that has been sexually assaulted to step forward and call this hotline. All of this shit within the same article. And she is using Twitter mobs of morons and their tweets who want to cancel Yandere Dev as facts. Not only does she depict Yandere Dev as being a horrible person, but at the same time, she also stigmatizes the people who want to play this game. If we play the game, she's painting us all with the same paintbrush. People are so mad with Yandere Dev that they can't see that there is one common enemy. We still have to work together. Yandere Dev, offered a logical response at the end of the article when talking about the varying age of consent globally, but she refuted it with her emotions. She wants to hear none of it. She wants this game to be banned because she can't handle not being the age of a schoolgirl and not being the object of desires of players in this game. This is what happens when women get past their prime. They try to sabotage any fun that a young woman is having with a man, and they try to sabotage the fun that a man is having with a younger woman. They get jealous when men favor younger women and they stigmatize men for liking them. It's a shaming tactic, right? So if they do this, there'll be more men interested in them, supposedly. That's how they're thinking. This is their wrong think. We're all here for Osana, let's be honest. I'm sure there are some girls here for Osana as well. If we separate and turn our backs on Yandere Dev, it will cause a chain reaction to where other artists depicting cute anime girls in games will be zeroed out as well and cancelled. This is why I'm trying to mend what relationship the estranged portion of the fan base has left with Yandere Dev. There are people who don't want to see men succeed. Let me repeat that. There are people out here that don't want to see men succeed. There are people who go on Twitch to expose their genitals, boobs, skin, and what have you to get Twitch donations. But as soon as somebody is making anime with cute girls, it's a no-no. Zombie Unithought can paint her body on Twitch, her naked body, but she won't allow backup dancers to wear shorts at PAX, calling it harmful for women and, 5 exploitation. Wake up, men. Wake up. Girls who want to see men succeed are welcome to support our cause. We want the 90s back. We want innocent, apolitical, joy-driven fantasy to help us escape the dire situation the turn of the decade has left us in. Okay, so if you like this video, please leave a comment, comment, subscribe. If you want to make a donation, you can do that through Patreon and go to Streamlabs. You can go there and donate whatever amount you want if you found this video informative. Remember to comment, subscribe, and share this video with others who may find this also important or helpful in any way. Get on your purpose. Get on your grind.